Mystic Michaela, spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Here I am with, as always, my quarantine crew, Scotty. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
Scott, I can't even understand you. What's going on?
I'm wearing a quarantine mask.
He's wearing his cloth mask.
Should I take it off?
Yeah, take it off. Okay. Yeah, there. Good job.
I thought it was a good idea at first.
Yeah.
Because, we are breaking quarantine by being not 6 feet apart. We're only about
I think we're
4
okay.
feet apart. Well, we're coworkers, and they said your coworkers have to be 6 feet apart, right?
Yeah, you're
and we're
right.
about 4.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd wear the mask.
You're right. You're going to Zoom meeting me upstairs when I'm downstairs?
Correct.
Yep.
But then, it was kind of hard to breathe. I don't like wearing the mask.
The mask is hard. You wear it to the grocery store, Publix.
Yeah.
You do wear it there. It's what we have to do to keep others safe.
So what I thought was a good idea when my mom says idea. Long Island wasn't a good idea. Just can't hear me. But I did. I know you were complaining the other day that you were missing our live studio audience.
Yes.
So as we're not allowed to have one anymore.
No, because we always did. We had many people here.
Yes, we packed
all the time. Packed crowd.
Packed crowd.
For
standing room only.
That's what we got going on here.
But now what I did is I just I painted our soccer balls, and we have 4 soccer balls staring at us. Like Wilson and his friends.
Yes.
So I figured that might be a little bit of a
substitute. Weird that the squirrels in the backyard, I've named them and I understand. Like, I literally know who's with who, like what's going on. I was telling you about this yesterday. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I am so at one with nature in the backyard because I'm there so much there all day that I know the squirrels in their life.
Yes. You've been tracking their...
I feel crazy.
Deconstruction of a coconut.
A coconut, yeah. Like, I am so into their daily activities. It's weird, and I feel like they're getting closer and closer to me. Meaning, like they're getting friendly.
Yeah, they definitely are. You're almost like that guy, Dr. Doolittle, in the backyard. Like,
there's so much nature.
Yeah,
yeah.
You go out there, and the birds they kind of float around you.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it was an exciting week in quarantine.
Yes.
I had a birthday.
Yes, you are our first and only so far.
Oh my God.
Now we're hoping that my birthday's in September.
We hope it's done.
I don't care if I have a quarantine birthday actually, but actually I'd be happy with a quarantine birthday. Yeah. No.
It was a long day. Let's just put it that way. Like, all quarantine days are long. Like,
right.
My birthday was really long.
You're actually older than me now.
That's not true.
That's how long the birthday was.
That was a funny joke.
It felt like, but yes, you had the first birthday in quarantine.
Yeah.
And how was that for you?
It was, you and the kids made it lovely. The Mystic Michaela spiritual family, surprised me with a video. I was crying hysterically. It was so beautiful. And, I felt all the love and I felt good. It was really quiet. It was fine. I had a cake, and, I took a nap. And it was literally just a really long day, I think, because... That I don't even know. I had a lot of time to think about the passing of time.
That's what I said.
Okay.
You might be it might have been my 3 birthdays.
Yeah, I feel like it was a lot of birthday.
Yeah, and now for me, I like to plan stuff for your birthday, and I like to do things.
We usually go away or something.
This was a tough one for me because I was before the quarantine, I was looking at places we can go, maybe get a hotel somewhere. And then, even getting you a gift was hard this year.
It's true.
And look, I got you some Amazon gift cards.
It's all you could do.
Yeah. And the problem was I was looking to get you things. I'm normally I do the Merle Norman gift bag and all these things. I take the kids with me and I get it, but hard. I don't know if they're going out of business.
It's hard to get a gift card because you don't know who's going out of business.
Yeah.
And it's very sad. And that's why today I'm talking about empaths and how they're dealing with everything that's going on, in various ways, and general and more specific. But you just don't know. Yeah, I didn't know what's happening here.
Usually, and my parents' anniversary is the same day as your birthday.
Yeah.
And usually I give them a gift card to a restaurant.
Which, by the way, it's such a soulmate sign that my birthday is your parents' anniversary. That
really?
Is just, it's like a soulmate thing. Usually couples will have some sort of weird correlation, with soulmate stuff.
Oh, okay.
Crazy. But go on, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't even, I said I'll get you the gift card after because let's say I get usually I get Bonefish or Outback.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe they're going to go out of business. I have no idea.
Okay.
So that was that.
Yeah.
I got 2 cakes.
Yeah.
And the late, went to the cake aisle in Publix, and
Yeah.
the lady's like, "Do you want me to write happy birthday on it or something?" I'm like, "No."
And you like screamed at her, no!
I'm like, no,
And you like ran out and
hey,
sprayed her with Lysol.
social distancing here. Yeah. So like things like that were different. So you didn't have like happy birthday, Mystic Michaela on your cake.
Yeah, which you always have written.
Right.
From day one of knowing me.
Sometimes if it's a smaller cake. But
so that's what I've called at home.
Yeah. So like things like that have been a little bit different.
It's okay. It was good. We've been watching a lot of movies lately.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me if you're expecting.
Why?
Because I've been riding around on that bike.
Oh, with the baby seat on the back?
So they're like, "Oh, MM's expecting. Mr. Kale's having a baby." I'm like, no. One person dropped off that book, and they left it on our porch. What's that? When You're Expecting?
Oh.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
So I might, finally, my bike's in the mail.
Yes.
My men's bike is in the mail.
You got a bike. You got a new bike. If you listen to the last episode, it was the saga that Scott has to ride my baby bike with the baby stuff all over it. Yeah. It's a women's bike.
Women's bike with the baby seat
with the baby seat on the back.
But I'm still in training for the Tour de France.
Right.
2021. Mm-hmm. Right, 2021. All right, so we've been watching a lot of movies.
Yes.
Last night we watched one of my favorites.
A classic.
Karate Kid.
Ralph Macchio. Which, you're looking like him lately.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really weird. We're going to have to put up like on a photo like you two next to each other.
No,
it's eerie. It's eerie.
I mean, like if you want to know what I looked like back in like 9th grade, high school, whatever, junior high school, Ralph Macchio from The Karate Kid.
Karate Kid is such a good movie because it's so to the point. And there's many, many plot holes, but you don't care about them.
No. It was great. We watched it last night. We were sober.
Yes.
It was.
It's a weird thing to point out.
Yeah, no. Well, because like people are like, "Oh, were you guys drunk when you watch it?"
No, we're totally sober. We're always usually totally sober.
Yeah, we ran out of stuff a long time ago. If anyone wants to send us stuff,
it's just weird that you had to make that a thing.
Like drink every time you
put down the crack pipe. I watched a movie sober. Okay, Scott.
Anyway, it's funny, but I mean, I was definitely that skinny, and the hair is perfect. That is my hair.
Yeah, the thick '80s hair.
Yeah, his hair in that movie was the hair I had. My mom never let me get a haircut. She'd always never.
You just have such beautiful thick hair.
We still argue about it.
It's nice. It is nice. It is nice. It just makes you in such a bad mood when it's long. Yeah. But no, it's like you don't have your workout equipment.
No.
So you're kind of going back to your natural state.
Right.
Which is long and lean.
Right. Well, that was the thing. And then I'd have a weight set. My dad had bought us a weight set.
Sweet.
And anytime I, worked out, like back in high school, if you work out for 2 days, you're like Hulk Hogan. If I work out now, it takes 4 weeks and I'm still looking like Martin Short.
Thanks a lot, age.
Yeah. So, what I was going to say is, so if I worked out for a week or two, then people started calling me Rocky.
That's funny.
So it went from calling me Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, to Rocky.
Because it's funny because you're Jewish, but you have this Italian look to you, which is funny. When I met you, I'm like, what is his nationality? Because you do have that kind of look that we don't. Yeah, so you do, and you do look like. And we're watching Karate Kid last night. I'm like, oh my god, this guy talks like you too. It was just very.
Well, yeah, they were in the movie. They were from New Jersey.
Yeah, but you used to when I hear old audio of you speaking before you were Buffalonian, you did talk way more like that, with this accent.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I mean, old movies are a thing, and I feel we all have. It's a good way to revisit the past and watch a bunch of funny old movies. Yeah. And I love how Karate Kid just ends. If it just ends, just done.
80s movies, done.
It's Mr. Miyagi's face, done. Credits.
Right. You're
done.
the best around.
Get out.
Win in the end, or whatever it was.
Or it's over.
And it's over.
It's hysterical. But then we were watching A Quiet Place.
Oh, what I just wanted to say, before we go on to that, what is his aura? So now I'm
Ralph
curious.
Macchio?
What is Ralph Macchio's aura?
Yeah, so he's red and blue.
And that makes sense.
But people in movies have different auras. The actors wear different auras. But he's red and blue, in real life.
In real life.
Because then we were looking up on Instagram, does he look like you now? And he does.
Yes, he still does.
It's so weird, but he doesn't have glasses. So, that is so strange.
He's still a little lean.
He's a little,
he's not as lean, but he's still kind of, you can see, he's still Machio.
Yeah.
Like you always say to me, like, you know, if I get sick or something, you're starting to
I'm like,
machio.
oh my God, you're getting all machio on us.
Yeah, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a verb around here.
And I also noticed he's a huge New York Islanders fan.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking, you know, my brain is always thinking of ideas.
Okay.
So first thing I'm thinking in my head, you know, you have your friend Brittany.
Yes.
Brittany Grice. Thomas Grice is the goalie for the Islanders.
Yes.
Best goalie ever.
Right.
We have an in with Ralph Macchio. We can get
6 degrees of separation.
We can get Ralph Macchio on this podcast.
Yeah. Think people be into that?
No, not at all. But I would be into it.
Like the children of the 80s may.
Right.
Yeah.
No, most of our listeners are,
I don't know if they're of the 80s.
They don't know who Ralph Macchio is.
I wasn't that into Karate Kid like you were, because you're older than me. So like,
did you know who Ralph Macchio? Yeah.
No, it wasn't like he was in my Teen Beat magazine.
Okay.
I didn't have. I'm more like the generation like who's that? Jonathan Taylor Thomas, like Home Improvement. That kid.
I don't even know.
That was okay. That's like the 90s.
Okay.
Like everybody was into Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Like people know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So like we would get like the Teen Beat magazine.
Yeah.
And like hopefully you didn't get that, but like we would get the team, and it would be all the posters.
Like
and,
Luke Perry, like that.
I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit younger than that, though.
Bad example.
No, he would have been in there, but I'm a little bit younger than that.
Okay.
Like I'm like the Home Improvement guy. Like who else? Oh my God, I need other children.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, yes, like Leo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Like that was like my gen.
Okay. So
anyways.
All right, what were we talking about? The Quiet Place?
Oh, so then, like, an old movie for us is, like, it's actually a new movie because, like, we really never go to the movies. Like, even when it's not quarantine, we do not go to the movies because Scott has social distancing issues in his Red Aura life as it exists.
I mean, I love how...
You ruined the movies for me.
I did.
Because you're like, people touch me.
We've talked about this. Right?
Yeah, we did. Okay, we'll move on. Anyway, so it's just a little bit of a trigger, but it's okay. So we finally got to see A Quiet Place, which was hysterical because it was like me, Bree, our 11-year-old, and Scott, and, you know, Abby sleeping, and we're watching it. And I think most people have seen A Quiet Place. It's with Jim from The Office. And, like,
See, that threw me off right there.
Why?
Because Jim from The Office is now getting, like, attacked by aliens.
It's weird. And he still has, like, his Jim from The Office faces.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jim from The Office, that's your face.
Uh-huh.
Like, you're making that face. Look at the camera.
And I think
Shrug.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he always like,
that weird. It's always like sad, mopey
dude,
face.
he's funny. Yeah, but it's like the same thing, except he's saying shh all the time. Like, he's constantly telling his kids to be quiet.
Right, and why would they name the kids Dwight and Michael? I mean, that's
that didn't
an
happen.
Oscar. That's just overkill.
Too much Office.
Too much.
So we're finally watching A Quiet Place 2 nights ago, and you know, Scott watching a newer movie versus an older movie, like, you know, watching Karate Kid with Scott is fine. This is a great movie. This really stood the test of time, Megan. This movie's amazing. But like watching A Quiet Place, it's like, what did they churn out crap? And then it's like, what, you know, any noise in the whole movie, like somebody's just like walking up a step. Why didn't the monster come out now? Where's the monster now? Like, there's so much suspense. Like, me and Brianna are trying to watch it, and he's like, where's the monster now? Where's it going now? And like me and Brie, and I see Brie because, okay, so this kind of lightly segues to my Are You Sick of Your Quarantine crew yet?
I mean, I just want to tell everyone here because I can't see. I have tears in my eyes. Like, you were cracking me up.
And me and Brie are like cuddling on the couch, and you're on the easy chair, and like you're just going on, and Bree's like, "Oh my God!" And
what was it?
You didn't understand that they were blind, so they're like, "What if?" Like, and Bree's like, you're like, "What if you just walk into one?" And Bree's like, "They're blind." Like, she can't handle you, and she's getting like more and more upset. And then like mid movie,
right?
You know, you start like, you know, you got like a big thing of carrot sticks.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing was like, you know, one of your things you're like, well, how you can't live like that? How do you live like that? The monster's going to get you. Like, how come, you know, all these plot holes you're finding. And you're right. It's just a lot. And then
at least I didn't need the subtitles because there was no talking.
Yes, I think we're old because we put on subtitles now with movies.
Right.
Anyways, we transgress.
So there's a positive.
Yes. You're chewing the carrots, and Brianna's face gets like so red, and she turns around and she's like, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and we both are thinking the same thing. Like, you're a freaking loud chewer.
Okay. Let me explain that.
And like, this is like a real trigger for us.
Okay. First of all, I'm trying to make healthier choices. Eating carrots.
Right.
Plus, we learned about, you could read like psychic stuff from planting carrots in the ground. Those are the carrots I got.
Right.
And
Psychic
second,
carrots.
the carrots are very hard. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what
they're crunchy.
Yeah, they're crunchy, but they're very hard. These were hard
right.
carrots in the fridge. And, I was thinking, I better chew these really good because, if you break a tooth now, you're screwed. So that's why
you're just smacking them.
I was chewing them so slowly, and it made a louder noise.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
I don't want to break a tooth.
Bree, looks at me, and I look at her, and we both get it. But, I can keep it in to keep the marital bliss. But, Brianna can't.
You guys were over
Brianna
there, dying.
And Bree's like,
what's going on?
We know who the monster to kill first. Dad with his chewing, and it's so true. And she just looked at you, and she's like, "You're a loud chewer." She just lost it on you.
Well, she burnt the popcorn. Okay, I didn't want to say anything, but she burnt the popcorn.
It's an empath issue. Chewing.
Yeah.
It is. We have discovered this on the MMSF page that we cannot. We can handle babies crying. We can handle siblings fighting. We can handle a lot birds chirping. We cannot flip and handle chewing. It is just nails on a chalkboard. It'll throw us into rages.
Any other things I was doing during the movie that you disapproved
it was just
of?
Oh, this is so loud. You can't live like that. What about now? Where's the monster now?
It was such a terrible ending, too. All the monsters, running to them.
they're
going to make part 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5.
the 2. I think they're making 2 or
Quieter
something.
place.
They might have made 2.
Place.
I don't know what it goes on until it's on pay-per-view.
Yeah, right.
Let's just be honest.
Well, we know. It's going to be called Quieter Place. Quietest. And then the third.
Quietest place?
Then it's going to be quietest, multiplied, whatever. Until they run out of quietest.
Very quiet.
Very, very, very quiet.
Extra quiet.
Yeah.
It's not funny,
yeah.
but it is.
It is.
It is. And Jim's in it.
I mean, last week we were talking about all the positives, and it was such an uplifting show. And now you're just like, hey, I got some on you, too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I'm a joy to live with.
Nag.
Yesterday.
Yeah, why don't you tell that story?
Yesterday we went to bed last night.
Yeah.
I'm just telling the listeners, not you.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday,
yeah.
we went to bed last night, both telling each other that we had the stupidest fight last night.
Before you go there, this is funny, and this is one thing that I always do.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. You get a lot of DMs and stuff all the time.
Right.
And you're constantly writing people back on your DM, but a lot of times I think you speak them.
I do.
Yeah, so I always think,
oh my God.
I always think you're talking to me.
I can't handle this anymore. I use the audio text, so I'll just turn on, you turn on your microphone and it's like, thank you so much for your support, or you have a blue aura, or whatever I say. And Scott's like, what? Thank you for what? I'm blue today? He'll respond to me. And it drives me insane.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm like, Scott, I'm doing audio text. And so sometimes I'll try to preface it. Scott, I'm about to be doing audio text. I'm not going to be talking to you.
The problem is, I still don't get it, and I still will answer.
He responds to me.
I will respond. And this happens all day because you're constantly getting me.
I'm always doing this.
Yeah, but all right. Yeah, tell them about the Pepsi. Okay.
Well, what? Yeah. No, you tell.
No,
it's your issue.
Okay, fine. So,
I just noticed these things.
Okay, so
just saying.
Okay, so we're obviously we're all in the quarantine together. Okay, except for those people in Venezuela who just haven't got the memo. They had this huge beach party in Venezuela. Yeah, all these elites, socialites, and now they're all getting the corona.
Oh.
So anyway, I bought a 1 liter of Coke.
Yeah,
regular Coke.
You have high triglycerides.
I know. A 1 liter, okay? And, look, we're all in the quarantine. The day is long. And,
so little joy.
There's not a lot of joy right now.
So little
we all
joy,
know
people.
this.
Just the squirrels.
Yeah, I have my morning coffee. I love coffee. I drink basically all day. I drink coffee and water. That's all I drink. And orange juice now because you got to get the vitamin C up so you don't get the corona. And, my co-worker has the corona. So, so I bought a 1 liter of Coke. And this was over a 4-day period.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was 4 days. And Bree had most of it.
Debating this.
And you actually had a glass of it yourself. So I have a half a cup, not even a half a cup, plastic cup, by the way. I'm sorry, environment.
Oh my God.
That's another thing. I buy plastic cups. You're
going to be responsible for a whole landfill. I find them, I rinse them.
I know.
I recycle them.
I figure because we're eating home every single meal. I
don't mind doing dishes.
Yeah, I know. That just help a little bit. But anyway, all right, fine.
Move on.
So I have a quarter cup of Coke. And And again, this is over like a 4-day period. And it's just like, because like, the middle of the day, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're like dying. You're like going to pass out because you're like, you need a nap or whatever because you're so like lazy during the quarantine day. And, I get crap for it.
I'm just telling you that you worked so hard to give up Coke and now you're like bringing it back in.
I know.
I see you. I see your vices.
It was such a little amount.
To be debated.
I was having like a quarter cup a day.
But last night, I think it came to an end, which is why we're talking about it today, where like we went to bed just both saying like, I don't think you're such a fan of me. And then you were like, well, I don't think you're such a fan of me.
Well,
then I'm like, well, I don't think you're such a fan of me. And then you're like, well, I don't think you're such a fan of me.
Yeah,
and that's how we went to bed.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing.
All right, what?
Okay. So speaking of fans, I got the best DM the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Believe it or not, you're probably not going to believe this, but I am a fan favorite in Iowa.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They said I have like this fan group in Iowa.
Are you joking with me?
No, I swear.
Can you please show me this DM?
Yeah, I'll show it to you after.
Okay.
You know Sarah, who got us all the foods from Chicago?
Yes.
She said that I have a couple fans in Iowa, and they're starting a chapter.
It's got you have your lion face
you ask,
on.
When Sarah hears this, she'll DM you and she'll tell you it's truth.
Well, I am a fan of you.
Okay.
But I don't think you're a fan of me.
I am a fan of you, but more importantly, that you're a fan of me. I have fans in Iowa, and I've always wanted that. That's like one of the things I've always wanted.
That's a life goal.
It is a life goal. Remember that one time we went to Iowa?
I do.
And we didn't tell anyone. We just went to Iowa.
Yeah.
And then I called my parents just to check in. It was like a week later.
Why are you in Iowa?
And then she's like, what are you doing in Iowa? I'm like, oh, we're at the racetrack. We went to like Prairie Meadows in Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh my God, that's what you remember.
Yeah.
You don't remember like certain things, but you remember like which racetracks you've been to.
I remember that, and I remember going to the Walmart there.
Yeah.
And we just hung out at the Walmart.
It was a very clean, lovely Walmart.
Very nice Walmart.
It was a nice one.
And there was a lot of corn.
Yes.
And everything's like a square. So like you just go, like you can't go anywhere because like the corn is in your way.
Yeah. It was really pretty there though.
Yeah. Like if you want to make a U-turn, you got to go 2 miles through corn and then go back around and then you're back in. But I have fans in Iowa, so I'm very happy about that. And they are going to start a chapter of the podcast based in,
I'm super happy for you, Scott.
The enjoyment they have of my parts.
Well, I hope that they can deal with you eating carrots.
Well, maybe.
All right.
And looking like Ralph Macchio in a couple days.
I think that's okay.
All right, what are we talking about today?
All right, today what we're talking about. So today we're talking about empaths and like how everybody's doing here in the quarantine. And like it's kind of like, let's just do a quick review here. So I've done so many episodes on empaths. For example, like the Recovering Empath, episode 4 was like my big one. And I always talk about empaths because I really feel like it's a huge thing. It's a theme in all my readings. And the more we understand the empath ability as a tool to awaken and a power to be supported and admired, like this is going to increase our power as empaths. We have to keep this conversation going. How many years, I ask you, have you spent hiding this gift of empathy, this gift of being able to feel other people's feelings as your own? And right there, that's the thing. Like we hide it because society was built around us telling us that it's a weakness. And that this is such a major theme in all my readings. And this is such a huge thing. I feel Spirit has a message for me to really get out there as much as I possibly can to you guys, that it's really triggering us right now, and it's a huge awakening. I talked about this on the last podcast episode, and I'm just going to review a little bit on empaths in more detail. So just to review. So the empath colors that I see are usually like blues, purples, indigos, and turquoises. So purples, like just in order from boundary levels, like purples have like, of all the empaths, purples have the most ability to put on a boundary. And it's because they can really kind of almost like step out of a situation and still see it and still feel it, but understand they're not going to own it. So that's how purples are. So it's kind of like they can watch a movie, I say. Like they can look at, their friend's situation going on or whatever drama in their family or something, and they can almost like take a step back and watch it as if they're watching a movie. Like they're there, they understand what's going on, they feel it, but they understand they are separate from other storylines going on. And that's the way that they have a boundary. But they do feel things the same. It's just they have a more ability if they practice it to step out of it. Blues or the next ones, these are the people who feel other people's feelings in more of even like a physical way. That's why I see a lot of them as nurses or medical professionals. These people can deal with a lot of people at once. I see them like as teachers, as therapists, handling bigger caseloads. These are the people who also are able to kind of spread themselves thin, and their boundaries are less. But they still can have them if they're in a professional environment. That's why I see like blue teachers, blue therapists, blue nurses, when they're not overwhelmed, in their work, they can put up a bit of a professional wall still. But, in their personal life, they can't. So it's funny because I'll see a lot of times like a blue teacher dealing with like a lot of, kids who are hungry or kids who, come in and they have bad home situations and they care for them and they love them and they have concern and they work for them, but they can still, go home and like kind of leave it at the door, kind of, but it's funny in their own lives, they can't do that. Like if their brother is accusing them of something or like they're having boyfriend issues, they can't do that then. So blues, it depends on the context. Indigos, no boundary. So their big thing is they can only deal like one-on-one with situations and they need more quality than quantity. So a lot of times like they have less friends, but because their friendships are more intense. Or if they're in a job, they deal with less people, but they have to see those people through. That's why I often see them working with children with autism or, adults with disabilities or hospice patients or, reading therapists or things like that. Like they have somebody that they help, but it's less quantity of people, whereas blues can help like a ton of people at once. Indigos, it's kind of more, it has to be more specialized and more intense, but less volume, if that makes sense, because they don't have boundaries at all with what they let in. So they can only, they go 100%, they go all in. So they can't hold any of themselves back in any situation. Turquoises, least boundaries of anybody. They don't even understand what a boundary is. I have a turquoise daughter. She's 5. And I constantly have spirit for more, like download more information about turquoises to me. Turquoises, like I've said in the past, how I've come to understand them is they're kind of like a pool of water. And like if you look into a pool of water, you see yourself reflected. And the turquoise aura, or the person who has turquoise energy, they have this ability to hold the reflection of the people, situations, environments that they are around. But they are not the reflection. They're the thing that holds the reflection. They always get that confused. So, for example, with my own daughter, and I see this with clients all the time, they will start acting out other people's issues, and becoming it. Because they think that they are what they hold, but they're the vessel. They're not what they're holding, if that makes sense. They're separate. And if you see that power when you're a turquoise, that from there you can start implementing boundaries. Like, okay, I understand what's going on, but it's very hard to see. So a lot of turquoises, I see them. This is hard. Like I'll see them leaning on their other colors. And if they are aware of this ability, I see them oftentimes in energetic fields, like working in acupuncture or Reiki or healing or something like that with turquoises. And that is, okay, so that's like each color and their boundary level. So like back to what's going on. Like right now, it's just a trigger for us empaths because there's an awakening happening. And it's been happening for a long time. And it's an awakening of empaths. And I've always said that God scatters empaths around because, well, the majority of those I read are empaths, and the majority of people listening, like you guys are probably empaths if you're listening, and the majority of my MMSF group are empaths. We're few and far between. So, like, the big thing is, like, you probably have always felt a little different or a little bit more, quote, sensitive than everybody else around you. And the thing is right now there's an awakening because the ego and the 3D world, like I talked about on last episode, are about suppressing the voice of the empath. Like you're not supposed to have this vulnerability articulated. You're supposed to suppress it. So what do you feel instead? Instead of feeling your feelings, instead of feeling proud, instead of understanding your voice, instead of articulating it, taking personal responsibility and growing it, you are taught to feel shame, guilt. You're taught to feel dramatic, overly sensitive, weak, foolish, etc. Okay? But in this moment in time, we are really being put to the tests. And I find it very interesting and not at all coincidental that the warriors right now on the front lines of dealing with the coronavirus and everything are all empaths. They're medical professionals, and they're people in the hospitals that are thinking about others before they think about themselves. And those are empaths. And these are doctors, nurses, EMTs, firefighters. These are, the people that go and clean up, okay, the janitors, the healthcare workers, the assistants, all those people. They are empaths, and they're going and they're thinking of others before themselves. And these are the people who are dealing directly with the COVID-19, and the faces of the pandemic are these blues, purples, indigos, and turquoises. I mean, I see them on the news, and I see how they keep it together. And when they get in their cars, they lose it. They don't lose it in front of you. They lose it alone. And it's the empaths who are the ones calmly delivering the facts to the rest of us about what's happening out there. And while it's completely quiet in the streets and we're at home and we're feeling bored and we joke, about our quarantine crew and stuff like that, these are the people who are on the front lines. And I just feel like it's amazing that they're all empaths, and they have to speak their truth, and they have to feel the pain of their patients, and they have to treat them, and they have to advocate for them, and they have to inform us. And they're using those empath voices to unite together, to stand together, and they're using these emotions as tools to tell the rest of us what is going on and to cooperate and to articulate it. And I find it really just breathtaking and amazing and miraculous that we are looking so closely to the empaths right now to save us. And I just think that is such a turnaround. Usually in wars, it's not the empaths so much that are on the front lines. It's more aggressive, and we're thankful for them too. Everybody has their place. But I really find it interesting with this global consciousness shakeup that we're looking to the people who care for others as the wise ones. So what does this mean for empaths who are not on the front lines? Okay, so now the ones who are home, the ones who are watching the news or staying alone or staying with their loved ones, what about them? So I see many empaths are having various reactions to the state of affairs. I do a lot of readings. I get a lot of different situations as I am an empathic medium, and I just kind of walk into their lives, when they let me to, and I'm very blessed to be able to. Many of the empaths are embracing it, actually. They're reveling in their time. They're taking their break collectively. They're relishing this moment of introspection. Okay, a lot of people are feeling very calm. That's great. They're working on building their foundations, which I talked about in Aura Quarantine. And others are feeling the effects in different ways because reality has come crashing down on them. And one of the empaths' biggest avoidance in life, okay, and this is the ego hijacking the empath, their biggest avoidance is making others feel bad because of what they have done. So if the empaths here who have been furloughed or laid off and are having a hard time, it's not just the whole thing that they're not working. It's not even that they don't have money and they're worried about bills. It's more they feel like they won't be able to help the people that they love. And it's more about them feeling other people worrying about them. That's the thing with empaths. They can't handle other people feeling pity for them because then it's they're feeling it twice. And that's the thing that will suffocate the empath first, feeling like they can't fix the pain that they're about to watch others go through. And an empath the ego will always get in there and help you find out some sort of logical thing why it's your fault. And that's the main thing I see a lot of people going through right now. It's not that they don't have money. It's not that they can't pay their bills. It's oh my gosh, how am I making other people suffer? They're owning it. They're owning what's going on is almost a personal failure. And it's something that we have to self-check as empaths. How am I making this about me? Because the ego is funny. I say this all the time, maybe because it's a mom and I've seen Beauty and the Beast a million times. I think when we watch Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, that's ego, right? He thinks he's gorgeous and amazing. Well, this is how the ego works in empaths. You think you're the fault of everything. Everything's your fault. That's how the ego works in you. It's it's still the self-importance thing, but that you're the worst person. That's how it works instead of the best person. So you got to watch that. You got to watch where you're telling yourself where you suck, because that's where they're going to get you. That's where they're going to get you down. So you got to watch that. But it's hard. So I see empaths feelings, they're feeling very alone. They're feeling very completely abandoned. They see this dog-eat-dog world, this rat race. They have to, file for unemployment. There's all this paperwork. It's very overwhelming. They're told, sorry, that's the way it is. It's not personal. And, for an empath, everything's personal. So none of that helps. And I see them just absorbing it all in and getting overwhelmed. And it's a catch-22 because empaths will get a weakened immune system when they're stressed. So that's not what we want right now, especially. We want to stay healthy. And I see other empaths deciding to help. You know, like where can I take my control? Where can I take my control? Is it so simple as like, I'm going to take a walk and I'm just going to focus on this walk. I'm going to get groceries for my neighbor. Like, I'm going to volunteer. Okay. I have to find some sort of way to feel better in control during this time. Like, I'm going to take this energy and I'm going to put it in something which is a better place to almost transcend the worry and create something beautiful out of it. I see many empaths just trying to find solace in like fostering animals or checking in on people who are housebound, you know, like just take that energy when you feel totally out of control and do something in it that's in your control. That's how you can help it. That's how you can beat it. For this temporary time, you have to find something as an empath to make you feel more in control so that you don't get taken down by this. I feel like the disconnect that many empaths feel is something that can feel very isolating when it's not a personal choice. It's kind of like rejection. And like there's this whole like hashtag alone together and that kind of thing, which is true. But it's giving empaths a lot of fear and sadness and also a feeling of disconnect. It's not good for mental health, you know? And so that's why it's really important to use the technology we have for like face-to-face contact when you can, and really think about like when somebody texts you, like gratitude's the quickest way to God. Like, and this sounds really corny, but like when somebody texts you, hey, how are you? Really take a moment and be like, wow, they just sat there and texted me that. Like they thought of me. Like really feel grateful for that moment. And the same thing, like if you text somebody like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Oh my gosh, you know, that meant a lot. Take a moment and be like, wow, that really meant a lot to them. I'm really grateful I could do that for them. These tiny, tiny, minuscule things can release your empath energy into a better place, a higher vibration that's going to help you everywhere. It's kind of like when you get your vibe higher, what happens is your situation around you will match it. Okay, so on 4/4, on April 4th, there was this like global meditation, and it's crazy because like, I mean, I'm into this stuff. Like they have like these like waves. I don't know how scientific it is, but it's kind of like electromagnetic waves of the Earth's field, and it really spiked during the time that it was this global meditation, and it's just kind of like, you know, the energy means something. Energy means something. It helps. High vibes help. Let's all do this together. So the work right now, the work for you is if this has been really hard for you, your work is to figure out why. Why? That's such a huge thing right here. Where does it hurt? Why does it hurt? And where does that come from in your programming, which is like your ego plus how you were raised, okay? When this isolation lifts, when we have to start going out again and becoming comfortable with interacting and you know, it's going to be important to remember where it was hard for us to be alone, where we needed distraction, where it was painful. This is a gift in a way. This is a pause. And one of the gifts with this pause is understanding where we hurt, why we hurt, and where it controls us. There are so many triggers right now for the empaths. So many ways where we feel the needs of others and want to fix it. And the big question is, where are your triggers? Where are they? And how can you be destructive to yourself when you confront them? And every color in the empath rainbow has a different way of being self-destructive, okay? Purples, they kill it at self-destruction. They're pretty good at it, okay? So their big thing is like, they will throw purple bombs, okay? I've talked about this in other episodes. I feel like I need to do a whole purple bomb episode. Because what it is like, you know what? There's all this stuff going on. I feel overwhelmed. I'm going to break up with my boyfriend. I'm going to, you know, I'm just going to, you know, quit my job. Or I'm just going to, like, they just do something kind of like, it throws them off. And it makes them kind of like feel like something different's happening. It distracts them. But it can be very self-destructive. Purples also have to watch self-medication, you know? Drugs, alcohol. It's a fact. That's what happens. You got to watch it when you're purple. That is like when you reach a trigger, what do you do that hurts yourself so that you can distract from it? Blues. They're a big thing. Like when they confront this kind of stuff, when they confront a trigger, is they become a pleaser. They want to all of a sudden be submissive and go please anybody they can. Because their big thing is borrowing happiness. If I don't have happiness of my own that I generate myself, which really we need to learn how to do when we're blue, what happens is you'll borrow it from somebody else. And sometimes the people that give you the most happiness to borrow, like the most readily available, are like narcissistic or energy vampire people. So if you're going to do that, you got to do it for the greater good. And because then it's like connected to source. So that's like volunteering, to get groceries for the housebound person in your neighborhood or something. Like that's a good way to do it. Bad way to do it would be to, deal with an egomaniac person. And also blues can take on too much, and then they can just get overwhelmed. That's another thing that blues will do when they're stressed. They're like, okay, let me just do 100 million things for 100 million people. Indigos absorb everything when they get a trigger, when they're triggered, when they feel their stuff. They're going to absorb it all. They're going to get sick. They really got to watch the autoimmune issues. And they can really just become the other person in the relationship. They can take on too much of who they're with or who they're around or any toxicity and really internalize it. So they got to watch that. And then turquoises, their big thing is they don't recognize what's happening. So they can feel completely out of control, completely out of touch with themselves, completely like a feather in the wind, just floating without any direction. They can feel like they lose a ton of clarity. That's what happens when they get confronted with their triggers. They start just wandering off in their life direction. And they kind of that's why they need to work on centering themselves with some sort of practice. Like we all need to work on like meditation, things like that, but turquoises definitely need that the most. So I want to hear about you. I want to hear about like what your triggers are. I want to hear about how you've been doing with this, when you're confronting a trigger. Me personally, like, just to get real honest with you guys, yes, I'm purple indigo. I think the biggest thing that's been going on for me in this time is feeling like I really want to help everybody, because like I feel like, I guess this podcast and people listen and like my social media or whatever, like I really want to capture everyone's voice so they feel heard and seen and validated. And then I get really overwhelmed, because I start really to do it, I have to feel it. And that's why, like, I've been losing my voice for, like, a month straight. Like, it's in and out. Hey, Scott.
Hey.
Are you sick of me losing my voice? Because you just think it's the coronavirus.
No, not at all. You know what I was thinking the whole time, honestly?
What?
I mean, to be totally honestly. I was just thinking that movie, That Quieter Place. Who has a baby? Who has a baby? When this alien invasion with noise is going on?
Not a good time.
Not a good time. But in all seriousness, I mean, honestly, that's really what I was thinking about, and I couldn't shake it.
There's just like that one thing,
because I was listening to you.
We heard that a lot during the movie too. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did they have a baby? Why did they have a baby?
They could have avoided a lot of stress.
Right. I mean,
I'm just saying. Not the best time.
Yeah, gonna be a lot of quarantine babies.
There are.
But the whole empath. I mean, yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm red and blue. I have the blue, which is an empath color.
You're empathic.
But I don't think I'm feeling it like everybody else like that. I mean, I feel bad, and sometimes I watch the TV and get upset, but
yeah,
I don't like internalize it.
Yeah.
Like you guys are doing, I don't think.
Well, you don't seek it out either. Like there was some special on the news, like inside this hospital, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh my God. And you're like, don't watch that. Like you wouldn't watch that,
Yeah, I tend to like turn like all the
emotional stuff off.
Yeah, all those stories off.
Yeah.
Because if I do watch them, then I do kind of like I will sometimes start feeling sick myself. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's anything like you guys. I don't think it's like anything like the guys in the Mystic Michaela spiritual family.
I know. No, there's some people are they're empaths, and then there's people who are just empathic.
Yeah, I think I'm more. Maybe empathic.
You're empathic, but you're not it's not on your mind constantly.
No, it's not.
And you're not really controlled by other people's feelings or your need to please them in any sort of way.
No. Like I feel bad, like I go to public, I feel bad for the workers.
I know.
But then I leave and I forget about it.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like we're not all like this. That's why the thing and I'm glad you're bringing this up because I feel like the thing is like not everyone's an empath.
Right.
And that's okay. They don't have to be, but the people that are need to speak up for themselves.
Okay.
Because like the whole get over it, like what I've heard my whole life, get over it, toughen up, get a thicker skin. Like it's never gonna work.
Right.
Just don't think about it. Like I don't even know what that means. Don't think about it. Yeah. Like.
Well, I mean, I definitely understand it now, which is good.
Well, yeah.
Like, because if you would have said like 3 years ago. No, wait, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
If you're like, what's an empath? I would be like, well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right, but you always knew I was like way more sensitive than anybody.
Like if someone said, could you define the word empath for me? I'd be like, No.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, once you open up to it, like, it downloads quick.
But there's a lot of words, like if you were to ask me quarantine a couple of years ago.
Starseed.
No.
Or Starseed.
Or Starseed. No, I was just making a joke. But, I didn't know what an empath was.
Yeah.
I had no idea, like, what an empath was.
So I think you have a game for us?
Yeah, I figured we kind of throw it to a, kind of fun, nasty, so to say, kind of upbeat to end it up with in the show with. And I came up with some like people that would like celebrities that would have fights on the internet.
Oh, celebrities who have fights on the internet,
right? Or say like terrible things on the internet.
We have
or whatever.
to name it. We have to name it.
And this would definitely be like This is 2D. This is so 2D here.
This is 2D.
2D, 3D.
We're deep in the 3D.
We're going 3D now.
We're going 3D Twitter fights.
Right. We're taking it down a notch.
We're taking the vibe down.
Yeah. What do you want to call this?
3D Twitter fights.
And 3D celebrity quotes or something?
3D celebrity Twitter fight quotes.
Okay. Now, I just want to preface this. I've heard throughout my years on this earth that I'm terrible at reading quotes.
You don't read them in people's, like, tone.
All right, fine. I'm going to just, apologize now. Okay. Like I do, I apologize all day long.
If it's really bad, I might just take it from you and read it for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to read.
Okay. But please forgive me. I'm terrible at reading quotes.
Oh, Scott, come on.
All right. That's my blue coming out there.
All right.
I'm feeling really Victor Blue. Okay.
Like you really, you are. Yeah,
Victor Blue now.
Like I'm mean to you or something.
I was like red the whole show, and I was like, Victor Blue.
You're like, I know me.
I haven't done a red person rant yet.
No.
That might be coming.
It might
later
be
on.
coming.
All right. So there's going to be two parts to this. I'm going to read you the quote.
Okay.
You have to tell me who said it.
Oh, Lord.
I can give you like kind of like what.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing. And then you tell me their colors and all that nonsense.
And listeners,
and
you play at home.
Okay. And like if it's a girl, I'm just going to read it in a guy's voice. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Okay. Whatever. All right. So here's the first quote.
Okay, first quote.
See if you can guess who said it.
3D celebrity Twitter fights.
3D. 2D, 3D. Yeah.
Okay.
You poor thing. You still don't understand, even though I explained it. We're not on Groupon. Have not been in years. If we were, I would admit it. That is an extremely old ad that's not active. Keep attacking my business, and you'll find yourself with a lawsuit with Cut Fitness.
Well, I knew this before you even said Cut Fitness. That's like the fight that Tamara had with Kelly Dodd.
Okay.
But you know what's funny?
What is Cut Fit? That's her gym?
Yeah, okay, so, Tamara has a gym called Cut Fitness, and Kelly Dodd's like, you're on Groupon. What's wrong with being on Groupon?
Yeah, what's wrong? We have Groupon.
We don't have Groupon at all.
I don't even know what Groupon is.
No, but like if I were like a gym, I'd be on Groupon.
Yeah.
Like you need, like people like a deal,
Yeah. If we owned a zoo, like Joe Exotic, I would have put it on Groupon.
You wouldn't?
I would have.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like for her first mistake was trying to say there's something wrong with Groupon. Because you know what happened after that?
What's her Tamara's colors?
Tamara?
Tamara.
Tamara. There's always Tamara.
All right, whatever.
Only we think that's funny.
I know.
She's yellow purple.
Yellow purple.
Yeah, but it's funny because Groupon tweeted right after, like, yeah, you're on Groupon. Like, I think they put like the Cut Fitness Groupon ad.
That's so funny. And you've met Tamara.
She was very nice. She was really nice to me.
Really nice to you.
Yeah, she's yellow purple. I mean, Kelly is like a stink, So
purple.
like she's purple and red.
Right.
I mean, first of all, it's the nature of the show.
Right.
And it's hysterical, like, that you would fight about who's on Groupon or not.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, it's not like a bad thing.
Like, if somebody said, I'd be like, yeah, I'm on Groupon. What? Like, I'm a business. Like,
it wasn't like, you had ads on like a porn site or something that you were running.
Okay.
Like, that would be worse, I guess.
Take it there. Take it there.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah. It's not like you put it on your Amish dating site. Like, there's a big ad for Cut Fitness.
Like a banner ad.
On Amish dating. Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
Next.
Whatever. All right. So you like that one. Okay.
That's fine.
All right. So here's the second one. Another quote. This is a tweet. This is an actual tweet.
Tweet.
This is a tweet. You tell me who tweeted. Tell me their colors.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. And as a businesswoman, I am done allowing people to pretend business is easy or have pretend parties to launch products that are fairy tales. Watch cartoons if you want fantasy.
Well, it seems like somebody who has a business who doesn't like people that are faking businesses. Who is it?
Correct. Okay, so that would be New York Housewives. A lot of these were from New York, from the Housewives.
Yeah, they're good at the Twitter fights.
They love to fight, yeah.
They do.
Bethany Frankel.
Oh, that makes sense. Who was she saying it to?
She was making fun of Ramona for having a skincare launch that probably just was a phony product.
Yeah, so Bethany's red and purple, and she is a successful businesswoman. And I just because I'm married to a red, I kind of get the red viewpoint on that, which is her basically saying, don't give it like this false narrative to women that having a business is going to be easy because then they'll give up.
Yeah,
but,
I get that.
Like
one.
it's hard to have a baby.
Yeah.
Like you got to blood, sweat, and tears. Like that better be your like freaking baby. It's like your baby. And she's just trying to say like, don't make it look so easy because then it's going to make other people not understand why theirs isn't easy.
Right.
Because it's not supposed to be easy.
And we're just doing like a false party, having a grand opening for like nonsense.
And that's what they do. But that's what the whole show's about. Like they all have these like fake businesses. Like, and if you look, like they don't have them like a year later or anything. Like, like on like
storyline stuff.
It's for storylines. A lot of it.
Okay. I get that one more than the Groupon one. Like the Groupon one, I really don't get.
I kind of agree with
that
her
one. I get.
One.
The
yeah, she's looking out for other women who want to start a business, and she's saying like, don't idolize somebody like this because that's not how it looks,
right? In
reality. So she's trying to help people out, but she's very harsh when she says things.
Because she's red, you said.
Yeah, she's red and purple. They're very like that's like our 11-year-old, just very direct.
And what's the other one? Ramona.
Oh, Ramona. She's yellow and like crazy.
Yellow and crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the aura colors of yellow and crazy.
I have to say, I love Ramona. She's like the perfect housewife. You know what I mean? If you're into housewives, like she's just like the quintessential.
Okay, so
she really is.
Her two aura colors, yellow and crazy.
Yellow and a little crazy. But sometimes she's not. Right. She's very yellow.
Is that a color? Okay.
She's like loopy doopy yellow. She's like dark yellow. In my throwing shade in aura color episode, I talked about her shade of yellow. It's like very dark, which is like I told you so yellow. Like just because I said so, it is.
All right.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. All right, next.
Okay, so I got another one. Now, this one's a little difficult because, I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like it was written by, like, a junior high school student.
Okay.
Like a 7th grader wrote this.
Bravo? That's him, yeah?
Yeah, another.
Okay.
Definitely a Bravo person.
Sounds like, reads like Bravo.
So you already got it correct.
Okay.
So if I botch this quote, please forgive me. There's, like, a lot of symbols in here and @ signs and not full words. There's U's and R's and people getting... I don't know.
Just read it. And if you read it wrong, I'll reread it for you.
When people talk shit about you and don't at you or the people they are talking about at Jerry Maddox 1, it should tell you a lot about who they are and what they are saying, Mr. Jax Taylor. Stop posting fiction, get a hobby, and get off my nuts, you little whiny bitch.
Okay.
Did I read it okay?
Yeah,
I tried.
I should reread it for you.
All right. Well, the bottom line is he wants this guy to get off his nuts.
Okay, so like obviously this is Tom yelling at Jax.
Yes, you got it.
But they always do that.
What? Get on each other's nuts?
I think so. Like they fight. They like have like remember when we did you watched the one episode and like Tom and Jax were having a fight about if he was being a good best man or not?
Yeah.
And you were like, that is the stupidest fight I've ever heard. That is so stupid. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what they do. And this was probably like that too.
It's so childish, this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time I ever said go off my nuts is when your mom kept stealing my pistachios over the summer. So I said to her, "Can you get off my nuts?" She took it a little bit, not like
the wrong way.
Yeah. All right. So, I
think that's funny because what he's trying to say is like if you're gonna do it at me, like the @ sign.
What does that even mean?
That means like tag me.
Oh my god, this is like
that means at least that's like instead of because nobody says it to anybody's face anymore. That's the Twitter equivalent of say it to my face when you @ somebody.
Okay.
That means, does that make sense to you?
Okay, so
like if I was having a fight with you, and I didn't write like @ Scotty Boss 40, and I just wrote about you, that's like not as like, I guess like
I might
man
get
to
it.
man.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with this whole like @ hashtag nonsense.
Okay. Red or a rant.
No,
red
it's not going to be
a rant.
No, I'm going to say that for later.
All right.
But like it's very insulting, right? If someone doesn't tag you or whatever. Like, did we have, like, what I'm trying to figure out right now, and I don't know if you know the answer, we might have to come back to this. Like, these are big insults right now. Like, you didn't hashtag me, you didn't tag me.
Well, that's more like he's saying you're a bitch because you didn't
tag me or something. Or like, let's say you do a post and you forget to tag someone or whatever. That's like an insult.
That's different, but okay.
Did we have like an insult back in like my day, where this would be equivalent?
Yeah, I'm
like
saying,
you didn't invite me to the party or something.
Like if you didn't say something to my face.
Okay.
Like if somebody went behind your back and said like in high school, like, hey Scott, is blah 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 something about you, and then you went up to him and was like, you could have said that to my face instead of like behind my back.
So that's what
that Tom is saying about Jax. Like say it to my face, but like really in this day and age, it's like at me.
All right. I'll just leave this one be for now.
I'm helping you with understanding the culture.
Exactly.
The Twitter culture.
Who would have a baby in a alien invasion with sound?
They don't, like, you knew that was going to happen. Or, like, she should have had a birthing room that was completely soundproof. And why, he built everything. Why didn't he build a soundproof room for them to live in?
And here's the other thing. When they were trying for the baby, that would be noise too.
No, they were really quiet.
Okay. All right, next quote. This is another tweet, and here it is.
Okay.
I want to challenge, not me, this is the person that said.
Okay.
I want to challenge Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're sick scared. You will never live it down. Who is willing to put on the fight? Dana White? At Dana White.
That was I remember that was Justin Bieber.
Oh gosh, he wanted to fight Tom Cruise.
It was weird. I don't understand that because I didn't really follow it. He's green and purple. Justin Bieber. And maybe he was on something. That was like the weirdest thing ever.
And what colors?
It's like a joke.
Tom Cruise.
It was like a joke. Tom Cruise is so green. But he honestly feels starseedy to me. He's got like a crystal underlay. So like crystal aura people, when I see them, it's like a breed of alien. I know, and it's funny because he's in Scientology.
Yes, he loves alien movies.
That's right. He's always in alien movies.
He's a lot of alien movies.
Different than Keanu Reeves, like because Keanu Reeves has that crystal thing going on too. But like Keanu Reeves seems like he thinks for himself a little bit more, and Tom Cruise feels a little bit more like wackadoo.
Okay.
But they have like the same kind of vibe. But but Keanu feels a little more.
Yeah, I mean,
like a loner, and Tom Cruise feels like he's a little bit more, I don't know, collective with that. The religion thing kind of makes it different.
Okay, you know? I mean, I would pick Keanu over Cruise.
Yeah, but he's got like a starseed crystal aura thing with a green overlay going on.
Are they in the? Is he in? What D would Tom Cruise be in?
You know, it's hard because like I feel like Katie Holmes like ran from that guy like. And so did Nicole. Like, he freaks me out a little.
He freaks you out.
Yeah. But I feel like he's really friendly. And I feel like he's really philanthropic. I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like he is. And I feel like he's not, like, a bad guy. It's just, like, I wouldn't want to be married to him.
That's true.
He feels like a cult leader. Like, I couldn't
he might have told
handle that.
Get off my nut.
And she was real indigo. Oh, my God.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I'm aging myself, but there was, like, this Oprah special with, like, Katie Holmes. Like, they went to Tom Cruise's house in the woods with Katie Holmes, and it was just, like, really freaking, triggering. So many red flags.
Okay.
We should all watch that again.
We should.
We're in quarantine, and we should do that.
Next week.
Okay.
All right. Here's another one. All right, so this is a couple. I will read you the guy's quote first, and then I will read you the female quote.
Okay.
This seems very amicable. Flipping houses put us in the spotlight, and while it was tough before, now the pressure is really on. We're still trying to figure out how all of this is going to work. Okay, that was the guy's quote.
Okay.
And in response, this would be awkward for any exes since we have to see each other every day. It's beyond awkward. I'm planning on staying friendly and keeping things light.
Oh, that's the flip or flop people?
Flipping houses, flip or flops.
What's her name? Like Christina and Tarek?
Yeah, I'm not going to even go. I think so.
Yeah.
Christina and Tamara.
I think it's Tamara. It's Tarek.
Tarek.
Well, he's indigo, which is crazy because like every time before they got divorced, like I liked that show because it was like so stressful to watch. And it was like the most interesting thing on HGTV for a long time. And he's so indigo. And then he had all those thyroid issues. And he had like thyroid cancer and stuff. And like that makes so much sense because like indigos always have like trouble with finding their voice. And then it attacks their thyroid.
That's weird because like on the show, and I watched a few episodes.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like very indigo. He's always like kind of like angry and
now he
yelling
is.
At her. No, but like even on the show, they would always like be fighting with each other.
Well, yeah, when they were like first, well, he's green too. When they were first doing it, like the earlier episodes, you can tell like he's like, oh, well, happy wife, happy life, or like whatever. And now he's like wearing a chunky necklace and like dating women who look like her but look like way more submissive or something. And I feel like he had a total like breakdown. Well, he did actually. Oh my God, he did have a breakdown.
Did he really?
Aw, yeah, poor Terry. I mean, I feel like he really did not want this to end. And I think she's very yellow and purple, and like she just organized her life a little different. They grew apart.
Christina, she'd be the one that would have the baby with the alien invasion anyway. And she'd be like, and she'd make that Tarek do it.
Yeah, but she would be smart enough as a yellow would.
Right.
to have like a soundproof room.
Right.
Okay, like yellows don't do that. And maybe a purple would accidentally have a baby in some sort of situation like that, but I don't feel like a yellow would.
Yeah, and they're good at flipping houses, so it would
just
really good.
like I don't understand. Like, just get insulation from somewhere and make a soundproof room.
Yeah.
Same.
All right. Well, all right. Now I have a series of tweets.
Ooh.
Are you ready? So there's going to be 3.
Okay.
I'll read all 3 to you. They're all from the same guy.
Okay.
All right. Here's the first one.
Okay.
Some of them are really funny, actually. Ari and Lauren are legitimately the only people from Bachelor Nation that don't deserve a good punch in the mouth. And yes, that includes myself. Doesn't include Jenny Delaney because she's hot as AF.
Okay. Hot AF. Yeah.
She's a hot AF, Jenny.
No, just
Delaney.
hot AF.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Jenny Delaney, you know who that is?
No, I'm really bad sometimes. If I see their pictures, I know who they are.
All right, here is the second quote
These are
from the same
Bachelor
person.
people, though. Yeah.
Podcasts don't make money, as I was told after 6 months of working on mine. Even Ben Higgins earns less than $20K per year from his podcast, and it's very highly listened to. I don't know why. But it's not worth the time or energy. It's a circle jerk for you to hear your own voice. Well, do you feel that way?
Oh, my God, that's funny.
I mean, the only circle jerk thing I know would maybe be the Amish doing it. I don't know, but all right, for ours. But all right, here we go. And here's the third quote.
Okay.
I recently learned that I never called Sarah a one-armed bee.
My God.
Yeah, this guy is brutal. The audio was cut, spliced, and edited together from multiple conversations. I apologize for 3 years for something I never even did.
Oh, my
Beyond effed up.
Who is this guy?
Okay, this is Chad Johnson.
Chad. We all remember him. Remember, you actually loved that season because, like, he was so awful, and they always showed him just, like, eating. Remember?
All he did was eat constantly.
He just kept eating, like, all the time, like, just eating.
All he did was eat.
He's crazy. He's like a narcissist on steroids.
And he was his color, like, black?
He's very red.
Very red?
He's like a red narcissist.
Like full red?
He's like, yeah.
He doesn't have any blue. There's no way.
He's red he's got narcissist vibes.
Like burning red.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
All right, that's not even crazy. Like he's just trying to get attention.
Yeah. I mean, he insulted us. Look, in these 3 tweets, he insulted all his podcasters. He insulted handicapped people.
Right.
And, he thought Ari was a good guy.
Right.
All right.
Ari's good. I didn't mind Ari.
All right. Last one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was a recent quote about the quarantine.
Okay. A recent one.
A recent one. This is good for me.
Okay.
And here it is.
Yes.
We are doing good. We're mostly commiserating over the fact that our 24-hour parenting is just not human.
Well, you have to reread that.
Yeah, let me reread that again. Well, the quote is all botched
for you?
No, I'll just read. Here's the basic line of it. I'll read the last line.
Okay.
This was the quote that really set people off.
Yeah.
24-hour parenting is just not human.
Who said that? Some rich white Hollywood person.
Okay. This psychopath was Justin Timber.
Oh, my God.
Timberlake. Timberlake.
I don't know where you were going there with that.
Yeah, I don't know either. What is that? Come on.
I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to red rant right here.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm going to.
Here we go.
No, I can't.
Listen, I think 24-hour parenting since the dawn of time has been the thing.
Yeah, that is human.
That's very human. It's like the most human thing there is.
Yeah. I mean, what's not human is that you have 14 nannies, 75 butlers, 18 houses that are probably all attached some way through some weird link underground.
What?
I don't know.
You just went into rich people fantasy land.
Yeah, whatever.
They have underground tunnels.
They do between their houses.
Everyone knows that.
24 hours.
You know what? We always say that though. Like on that rare occasion we get a sitter.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's almost worse because it reminds you of what life's like back in that other way.
Yeah. I mean,
which is true. It's almost actually I'm so used to it. Like I just don't even question my existence with 24-hour parenting.
Let me just read that one more time.
Oh, yeah.
24-hour parenting. I can't even read it with a straight face.
Read it.
24-hour parenting is just not human.
So they're ripping him up for this, right?
Oh, yeah. They're ripping him up.
Justin Timberlake's very green.
Yeah.
He's green and purple. I would think he's be smarter than to say something like that.
Yeah, right? You'd think.
Well, I think that's just the whole. You're so tone deaf, you don't know who you're tweeting to.
Right.
Your fans, come on, we're all.
Yeah, I think that was on a radio show. He said it.
I mean, it's. I think he was probably trying to say it's hard.
It is,
and that's true.
You know, we 24-hour parent. They probably like once every 2 months parent. You know, like one day every 2 months for like 2 minutes. Like, oh, let me just drop the kid off at school today. I'm doing my parent thing.
Right.
You know, now I'm going to sing. What does he sing? Bye, bye, bye. That's what he goes. Bye, bye, bye.
Like at the pre-K line.
Yeah, like bye, 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 bye. See you in 2 weeks. So that's how he parents. And now that he's in quarantine,
right,
it's 24 hours a day. I was like, come on, man.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
I can't.
Probably because he's figuring out some sort of quarantine name.
Yeah. Well, I feel so bad for you, Justin. Okay. All right. Well,
funny.
I think on that quote we have to end.
All right, let's wrap it up.
We've had a lot.
All right. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, your feedback is appreciated on the Miss Michaela Spiritual Family Facebook page, and you all take care. Bye.